This Sunday is Mother's Day, so let's look at some extraordinary mothers in the Old Testament. Hello, I'm Kathy Barto. The mothers I'm talking about today include Sarai, Rebekah, Leah and Rachel, and their respective maidservants, Zilpah and Bilhah. You may know Sarai as Sarah in the Bible. Sarai was the wife of Abraham and the mother of Isaac. Sarai was childless until she was 90 years old. She's the only woman in the Bible whose name was changed by God. Sarai means my princess. God changed it to Sarah, which means princess to all. Sarah became the mother of all nations as she was the mother of the royal line of King David, from which Jesus came. Listen to Genesis chapter 21, verses 1 through 5. The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Some years later, when Isaac had grown into a fine boy, God decided to test Abraham's obedience to him. He wanted Abraham to sacrifice his son. When Abraham raised the knife to kill his son, an angel of the Lord called to him from heaven. Genesis 22, verse 12, and verses 15 through 18. The angel said, "Don't kill your son or hurt him in any way. Now I can see that you respect God. I see that you have not kept your son, your only son, from me." The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time. The angel said, "The Lord says, you did not keep back your son, your only son, from me. Because you did this, I make you this promise by my own name. I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. There will be as many as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore, and they will capture the cities of their enemies. Through your descendants, all the nations on the earth will be blessed. This is because you obeyed me." Now, a few years later, it was time for Abraham's son Isaac to find a wife. So Abraham sent Isaac with his servant to Mesopotamia. Isaac found and married beautiful Rebekah when he was 40 years old, and they lived in Canaan because God told Abraham that he would give this land to his offspring. Canaan was the promised land. It was Israel. After 20 years of trying, Rebekah could not get pregnant, so Isaac prayed. Genesis 25, verses 21 through 24. Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. The children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it is thus, why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other. The older shall serve the younger." When her days to give birth were completed, behold, there were twins in her womb. Because Esau was the first to be born, he was entitled to his birthright as the firstborn son, but he sold it to Jacob for some red soup because he was hungry. Genesis 25, verses 29 through 34. One day Jacob was boiling a pot of vegetable soup. Esau came in from hunting in the fields. He was weak from hunger. So Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red soup. I am weak with hunger." That is why people call him Edom. But Jacob said, "You must sell me your rights as a firstborn son." Esau said, "I'm almost dead from hunger. If I die, all my father's wealth will not help me." But Jacob said, "First promise me that you will give it to me." So Esau made a promise to Jacob. In this way, he sold his part of their father's wealth to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and vegetable soup. Esau ate and drank and then left. So Esau showed how little he cared about his rights as the firstborn son. When Isaac was on his deathbed, Rebekah told Jacob to pose as Esau, who was hairy and smelled like a hunter, to trick Isaac into giving his blessing to Jacob, which Isaac did. Esau said in Genesis 27, verse 36, "Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing." So he could escape from his brother's desire to kill him. Jacob fled to Haran and fell in love with the beautiful Rachel, daughter of his mother's brother Laban. Jacob wanted to marry Rachel, the younger of Laban's 2 daughters. Jacob agreed to work for Laban for 7 years in order to marry her. After 7 years, Laban deceived Jacob, as we read in Genesis 29, verses 21 through 30. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife. My time is completed, and I want to make love to her." So Laban brought together all the people of the place and gave a feast. But when evening came, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob made love to her. And Laban gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. When morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me?" Laban replied, "It is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one. Finish this daughter's bridal week. Then we will give you the younger one also, in return for another 7 years of work." And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Jacob made love to Rachel also, and his love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah. And he worked for Laban another 7 years. Altogether, Jacob fathered 12 sons and a daughter. These sons became the 12 tribes of Israel. They are called the 12 tribes of Israel because Israel is the name that God gave to Jacob. The mothers of these sons with Jacob include 6 sons with Leah, 2 sons with Rachel, 2 sons with Leah's maidservant, Zilpah, and 2 sons with Rachel's maidservant, Bilhah. The 12 tribes include Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Ephraim, and Manasseh. Till next time, peace be with you.